Hostetler here with GO-180 Fitness, bringing you part 2 for one of my friends that's doing some bursitis rehab of her hip. She is now been pain-free for 2 weeks. She's been doing her daily warm-ups. And this part 2, your daily warm-ups continue to be every day. This part 2 is some workout that's good for the core, but it's still very sparing to the lateral hip, and I would recommend you do it every other day. You're going to push towards each pose for 60 seconds, but it might be that you're starting and you're just at 10 seconds. That's fine. You want to do what you can do and build from there. We're going to do 10 core exercises. The first one is plank hold, which I'm sure lots of you have seen. Planking has become very popular. So just a couple quick tips. You want to make sure that your shoulders are stacked over your elbows, which are over your wrists. If you have any wrist trouble, you can also do this hold on your fist and using fist for wrist. The other part that you want to be thinking of is a neutral head, a strong back. Your buns should not be tented up in the air, but actually lower down, so you're making a nice straight line from the top of your head down to your heels. You're up on your toes and you're holding. One of the things that can really help make this effective is squeeze the buns. So you're squeezing your glutes, keeping your abs engaged, keeping your back engaged. That's a plank hold. Our next one is going to be plank taps. If you're doing this with a partner, you can literally reach up and give them a high five, essentially. But if you're doing it with yourself, do your shoulders. So you're going to tap the shoulders. Those are called plank taps. And still working to achieve to keep the buns down. You're going to get some elevation as you shift side to side, but slow and controlled. From there, the next one, we're going to do what's called up-downs. One of the guys that trains here, he uses this for his clients a lot. He's got some great clients who have really gained a lot of strength with him, and I see him use this. I love it. Up-downs are very challenging. You're starting essentially in a plank pose, but you're on the forearms, and you're literally going to come up. Right hand leads, left hand leads, right forearm leads, left forearm leads. So you're going up and down. If you're only doing this for 10 seconds, then you want to do 5 seconds with the right hand leading, 5 seconds with the left hand leading, where then the left hand goes down, left hand leads up. Those are called up downs. Keeping the abs engaged the whole time, keeping the buns tight, keeping your core centered. Next is burpees, and we're going to do a modified burpees. A lot of you have seen the more aggressive, faster burpees. We did that on our Tabata videos. This is more modified, so you're going to start with a walkout. So we're literally going to bend forward, fingertips to the ground, walking out to a plank. From this plank, if you're feeling extra frisky and you've got the strength today, as you inhale, you get ready. As you exhale, you're going to go down into a push-up all the way to the floor. Breathing out all the way through your push-up, then walk the fingers back. When you get to the top, raising to the sky, one jump. That's one burpee. So you continue to do your burpees there for that series. That's our modified burpee. Number 5 is the V-hold. V-hold can be done a couple of ways. But to start out, you're going to come back, legs are extended, feet are flexed, arms are extended. If you have shoulder trouble, you can bring the arms in. Arms are extended, holding here. If you need to modify, bring the legs in. Still keeping it straight back the whole time. Head is neutral. If you need to modify for the shoulders, you can bring the hands to the side. So as you gain strength, slowly extend those legs. That's the V hold. The V twist is the same idea, except for we're twisting side to side. I'm going to do this without a weight, but you could hold a 1 pound, 3 pound, 5 pound dumbbell, or your child, whatever. But you're going to go with the V hold. I'm going to do modified. V hold side to side. If you want more of a challenge, straighten your legs. Flex the feet. Keep the back strong. That's the V hold with the twist. Number 7 is going to be our bicycle abs. I'm sure you've seen these before. But we're going to do slow motion, and that's key with bicycle abs, that you're not getting in a hurry. One of the things with any kind of crunch, you're going to keep the elbows out wide. You're not winging the elbows side to side, but keeping them out wide, thinking more of lifting the shoulder blade up off the mat. So when you come up, there should be space under your shoulder blade. We're adding the legs with this for the bicycle twist. If you want more of a challenge, legs go low. Less of a challenge, legs are elevated. So you find for you, but as far as your speed, it should be slow enough that you're able to exhale with each effort, and you're keeping your gaze to the ceiling not craning your head down. You don't want to do that. You want to keep nice and open the whole time for each crunch. That's the bicycle crunch, also known as bicycle abs. The next is going to be our Superman hold. And to start, you're going to come right around on the belly. Arms are extended, legs are extended, and the first part is just a lift. If this is difficult for you to get all 4 limbs off the ground, then just start with the upper and then go and do the lower. What you want to get to though is where you have both the arms and the legs elevated. You're literally balancing on your diaphragm basically. You're sitting there, you should be able to feel your breath movement as it pushes against the ground as you breathe. If this becomes no longer a challenge for you, add in a flutter kick. Same thing with the arms, where you take away a little bit of that stability and you force yourself to have a little bit more muscle contraction to keep stable. Or you can add swimming. This is a great one for kids. They'll follow this one with you. Otherwise you look ridiculous doing it by yourself. But it's a great exercise for the lower back. The last two, number 9, is the reverse plank. With reverse plank, as you can imagine, again, if you have trouble with your wrist, just use wrist for fist. So if you have trouble with that much flexion, then just use a straight wrist there. Plank is going to be, lower body is extended and straight, keeping a neutral spine. I'm looking up to the ceiling. That's my plank. That's the reverse plank. You can modify that if you need to bend the knees and not go up quite as high, that's fine. Find what you can come to and hold that. If you want to add a challenge though, you could add a dip in there. So you'll start with a plank, dip, push to the plank, dip. Breath is out each time with that extension of the body. Number 10, which is the last one, is going to be our single leg bridge. You had to have done this one back in gym, in school. Again, with the head up so you have a neutral spine. You don't want your head to be craned forward. No wrinkles in the front or the back of the neck. Pushing the bunch to the sky, keeping the legs stable. And if you want to add to this, you can add a dip. You could add a single leg. You can tricep dip at the same time. You can alternate legs. Get creative as you want to be, but keep up that motion till you have achieved 60 seconds. Once you're at 60 seconds, add one of those pieces in there to make it more challenging. You don't have to go a longer time, just create more of a challenge. Thanks for joining me for part 2. Part 3 will not be out for a bit, but part 3 is going to be actually full strengthening. Once we have full rehab of the lateral hips and we're able to start strengthening that lower back and the whole pelvic girdle to stabilize that for her, that's going to be part 3. I'll see you then.